Somewhere in the USA, CIA Black Ops agents Greg Vickers and Alice Kerr are pretending to be a couple as part of a mission to raid an FSB safe house disguised as a normal residential home. They arrive at the home, pretending to be lost and planning to ask for directions. Waiting among the trees behind the property is the rest of the team nicknamed Overwatch, led by CIA officer James Silva, along with agents Sam and William. Supervising the op is CIA officer James Bishop and team, who identify 5 occupants inside the house using thermal imagery and remind the team of their mission to locate and destroy shipments of cesium before it can be weaponized. Alice rings the doorbell, and when a woman answers the door, Greg tosses a flash grenade inside, then barges in with guns drawn, restraining the KGB agents and allowing Sam and William inside, while James keeps watch from outside. They gather up all the KGB agents and begin to collect biometric data on all of them, while William breaks into a safe to retrieve all the hard drives and classified intel. While the team collects the data, one analyst back at base identifies a faint heat signature inside the house and brings it to Bishop's attention. Bishop alerts Silva, who sends Sam and Alice to check it out. It's a seemingly empty corridor, but just as they realize there is a hidden room, Alice gets hit with a shotgun blast. The other KGB agents use the distraction to go for weapons, and Greg is killed in the shootout.
Confirming capture to kill.
Confirmed.
One Russian sets the house to burn down and tries escaping from the CIA agents and ends up falling through a window, injured. Silva walks over to him, and Bishop gives the green light to terminate. The man tells Silva he is making a mistake, but Silva shoots him dead. Having gathered all their intel, the team exits the house just before it blows up, and Bishop kills all CCTV for their exit. Later in the news, we hear how the government has spun the story as an FSB attack on their own to fake an attack from the US. The highlight of the news is an 18-year-old Anatol Karajan, the man whom Silva killed in the yard. We then get a background on Silva and learn how he was a genius growing up, but prone to violence. After his mother and twin brothers were killed in an accident, he was later trained by the CIA and became highly decorated Black Ops. 16 months later, in the fictional country of Indo-Car, Lenor burns the last remnants of his identity. In another part of the country, Silva meets with William and Sam in a restaurant and is pissed to learn that an earlier mission to uncover cesium proved to be a failure. It was Alice's contact that tipped them off, and Silva is losing his temper as they have made no progress. Sam gets a birthday cake, but Silva throws it to the ground, telling her no birthdays. He later barges into the women's restroom to rip Alice a new one about her source. Her source is local special forces, but Silva has no faith in the local police and demands that Alice get the issue resolved. Alice tells him she is on it, and Sam enters, reminding Silva that the sign outside says ladies. Later on in the day at the US Embassy, Silva is still grilling Alice about her source when she gets a call from her ex-husband, so Silva orders her to get that resolved and get back to work. Silva leaves to talk to a walk-in. Alice calls her ex-husband, and they immediately begin to argue about Alice missing their daughter's appointments. Worse, her ex-husband keeps reminding her that her stepmother is doing her job just to get her to cuss so he can record it. Silva finishes up his walk-in and comes to get her, glad she got that resolved. Meanwhile, on board an FSB spy plane, a high-ranking government official meets with Army Lieutenant Alexander Aslanov, preparing to get their plan underway as she looks at Lenor's file. Silva briefs Station Chief Johnny Porter about the bad intel, but takes the blame, as their source has been reliable in the past. Johnny is not pleased with the team's performance and urges them to up their game. Silva and Alice go for lunch where she tells him about her family issues because she is always working, but Silva doesn't pity her as this is the work she signed up for. We then see Lenor burst through the embassy's barricade in a car and hold up a drive before surrendering to the soldiers. We also see him counting discreetly on his fingers. In Russia, the FSB spy plane prepares to head out, and Alexander tells the official that soon the USA will learn that they are not weak. Lenor is taken into custody, and Alice identifies him as her source. The disk he handed over contains the location of all 6 sets of cesium, and he will only give the code once he gets asylum and a flight out of the country. Alice goes to speak with Lenor. Meanwhile, an analyst identifies the drive as an Ouroboros, which will self-destruct in 8 hours. Lenor refuses to open the drive until he gets out of the country. Alice threatens to mess him up, reminding him he is in no position to make demands as his last intel was wrong. But Lenor tells her his intel was correct and she should take a closer look. It turns out there was cesium hidden in some paintings they did not check. So Silva meets with Johnny requesting him to reactivate Overwatch to deliver Lenor and retrieve the cesium, and Johnny tells him he will consider it. Later, Indo-Car Chief of Security Axel and the Foreign Minister arrive at the embassy requesting an audience. Ambassador Brady alerts the team, and Silva cusses out the tech team for not cracking the drive as yet and reminds them of the horrors of a cesium-based weapon. On board the spy plane, the official is updated that Lenor has made it inside the embassy but is still alive. Lenor is put through a polygraph test where he is questioned about the contents of the drive and his intentions to hand over the code and passes the test without issue. He is then handcuffed to a bed in the medical ward for an examination by a doctor. As Lenor is being examined, he realizes they may not be real doctors after all. The men try to assassinate him, calling him a traitor, but Lenor displays some incredible fighting skills and takes on the men. He takes some heavy hits, and the men almost overpower him, but Lenor locks in and takes both men down brutally. Security soon arrive to the room only to find Lenor kneeling and covered in blood. Ambassador Brady meets with Axel and the foreign minister, who want Lenor handed over to them, as he is wanted for espionage. Silva joins the meeting to hear Axel claim Lenor is just a corrupt low-level cop, but Silva knows they wouldn't be here if that was the case. Brady then gets a call about the incident, and Axel denies having men inside the embassy, but Brady tells them if they did, they are now dead. Silva reviews the security tape of Lenor's assassination attempt, concluding that he is a very high-value asset. We then see the Overwatch agents and support team arrive at their secret base of operations and set up their systems for the upcoming mission. Meanwhile, the FSB plane is airborne and Alexander is waiting for an opportunity to hack Overwatch's network once they begin to move, which will create a loophole. Bishop briefs the team on their upcoming mission to transport Lenor 22 miles to their airfield. They have faith that once Lenor is safe, they will be able to retrieve the cesium. The team all then sign waivers, disavowing their connection to the U.S. government, and are now ghosts. Silva goes to see Lenor one last time, who is still counting on his fingers. Silva checks his pulse, asking if he is telling the truth, and Lenor's answer and response satisfy him. The team load Lenor into their transport and activate their standalone communication network, and this is the opening Alexander was waiting for. Silva's car, along with another car for backup. As they drive, Silva speculates as to why Lenor is betraying his government and learns that his entire family was killed, and this is his way of taking revenge and getting out safe. The Overwatch team back at base guides the team through the busy streets, rerouting them from traffic and hacking all traffic lights to show green. All this time, Alexander is listening in on their conversations. A group of bikers soon begin to trail the convoy. Suddenly, all comms and feedback at base go dark, and at that time the bikers pull close and one plants a bomb onto the back car. Overwatch comms and feed come back online, and the team thinks they're in the clear as the bikers ride away. The analysts rewind the satellite feed to see what they missed, but realize too late a bomb was planted. The bomb explodes, taking out 3 agents in the trailing car and seriously injuring Sam. The bikers stop a distance off and open fire on Silva's car, even managing to disable it with a bomb. Now stuck in the middle of the street, the team dig in and begin to return fire on the attackers. Alice rushes over to Sam, who is losing a lot of blood, trying to get her to breathe. Bishop has his team identify a good getaway car nearby, so Silva tells William to push on the bikers, laying down cover fire. While he does this, Silva gradually flanks the shooters and guns them down. Alice tries to help Sam to her feet, but a grenade explodes nearby. The threat is identified, and Silva guns him down. 2 men try to kill Lenor, but he manages to kill his attackers with Silva's help. William gets the car ready, and Silva, realizing Sam won't make it, tells her she did good and leaves her 2 grenades. The 3 escape with Lenor, and Sam is surrounded, but she detonates her grenades. Silva is losing his patience with Lenor and demands the code, but he insists he will hand it over once they get to the plane. Bishop has his team locate a safe house nearby that runs a restaurant as a cover. The contact gives them ammunition while the Overwatch team scans the restaurant for any possible threats and have a car pulling up to the restaurant shortly. Meanwhile, Alexander is closing in on the team's location. Bishop gets Lenor's files and sees where he studied abroad, but it has been redacted. They intercept police comms to hear them clearing out the area around them, and Silva sees Axel sitting outside the restaurant. Also around the area are armed bikers lay-waiting them. Silva steps out to talk to Axel against Bishop's commands. Silva warns him to stop pursuing them, but Axel tells him he's just doing his job. He will not stop until Lenor is handed over, but Silva tells him to be prepared for whatever comes his way. Bishop orders them to move out, and Alice grabs Lenor. Meanwhile, 2 female customers had entered the restaurant, and as they leave, Silva realizes too late that a bomb has been planted and it explodes. Silva recovers, but another grenade is tossed nearby that explodes, throwing William back and injuring his legs. Alice rushes back in to help him, but the 2 female assassins attack. Silva is almost overpowered until Lenor shows up to help. Alice helps William out, leaving Silva and Lenor to fight the assassins. They manage to defeat the women, but soon come under heavy gunfire from the bikers and manage to escape back to the car. Silva wants a new car as William needs the space, but they don't have much time left and need to get to the airstrip. Suddenly their car is hit and disabled. They are soon surrounded by the bikers, and William tells them to leave. Alice and Lenor escape into the building behind them, while Silva helps William prepare to take his last stand. Silva tells him to give them hell and heads out. William begins to take on the gunman, dropping a few, but he takes too many shots and soon falls to the ground. Axel then comes over and finishes him off. Silva, Alice, and Lenor are moving through the building looking for a way out while being guided by Bishop. Axel's men are hot on their trail and gradually closing in. Silva leads the 2 towards the exit, but Axel and his men block their exit, forcing them to retreat and Alice to be separated from the 2. Alice dips into an apartment looking for a way out and trying to keep the men back with gunfire. Silva and Lenor are being pushed back and slowly overwhelmed. The men are still pushing on Alice, who realizes she has no way out. Silva radios to Bishop, who tells him that the exit is directly behind him. Silva, however, refuses to leave Alice behind and gets Lenor to help him save her. Alice comes up with a plan and sets a grenade trap on the door and plants one on the wall behind her. She hides behind a bed, and when a man tries pushing into the room, the grenades explode, killing the man and blowing the wall to the neighboring apartment. She goes looking for Silva, killing men along the way. Silva and Lenor are looking for Alice. Lenor runs into some gunmen, but his skills are unmatched, and he battles the men. He is outnumbered, but not outmatched, and he takes on the men. Silva is pushing on, taking out men as he runs into them. He soon runs into Axel, and the 2 begin to shoot and taunt each other. Alice runs into a large man. She initially cries, telling him she is just a mother, but when he comes close, she stabs him multiple times, but the man is still standing and attacks her, throwing her around brutally. Silva tosses a grenade at Axel and pushes on him, but he has disappeared, and Silva reunites with Lenor. As they continue pushing toward Alice, Alice is not doing well, getting choked out by the man, but he is shot and killed as Silva and Lenor turn up. They exit the building, and Bishop guides them to a truck to escape. They hit the road, but by this time, Alexander has pinpointed Overwatch's location and gives a signal to his ground team to move. Silva, Alice, and Lenor are racing towards the airstrip, just as the hard drive is counting down its final minutes. As they are about to arrive, Axel intercepts them and blocks the road forward. Bishop has a plan for him, and soon a drone hits him with a missile, killing him. The team manage to get to the runway, and Silva demands the code from Lenor. He gives them the code, and the team is able to access the drive and retrieve the location of the cesium. Lenor is cleared to leave and boards the plane with Alice, who is going to spend time with her daughter. As they board, one agent realizes Lenor's heart rate is spiking, and they are confused. At that moment, their computers are hacked, and a coded image slowly begins to appear. Alexander then tells the official that it is time, and the woman is ready to watch everything unfold. Overwatch analysts identify the access code as the Russian word for Christmas, the name of the address of the Russian safe house they hit in the beginning. Bishop realizes they were played, as Lenor wasn't a double agent, but a Russian triple agent. As the image of Karajan appears, a Russian team storms the room, killing everyone. Alice realizes too late that Lenor has disarmed a nearby soldier, and the last thing we hear is how Lenor is attempting to take over the plane. It turns out Karajan was the son of the high-ranking Russian official who organized and executed her plan to use Lenor to activate Overwatch, so they could be located and taken out. In the end, Silva is debriefed about the entire operation but admits that Overwatch was outclassed this time. In the end, we see Silva staring at a picture of Lenor, promising to get his revenge.